All right, Green Thumbs. Back in the kitchen with the doc. We're making RSO. Some of y'all are going to call it FICO, being as how I make mine with liquor alcohol, not rubbing alcohol or isopropyl. But I've had people that ask me, how do I know? How do I know when I've got the majority of the alcohol out? So we're going to finish off this brew of RSO right here. And I'm going to show you guys the telltale giveaway. Now again, alcohol will continue to evaporate a little bit after you pull this out. So you could let it sit for a little bit to ensure that you have everything out. But now that I've got it stirred up pretty good, I'm going to let it start to bubble for you. Now you can see these very, very, very fine, almost like the bubbles that come in champagne or in your beer. Very, very tiny, tiny bubbles. Now this is going to continue to bubble around and do its thing for a little bit, but once you will see they go from these little tiny bubbles to almost looking like somebody's boiling like a chocolate or a caramel. It's got those big fat bubbles. You'll know it's done when it gets to that level. We're going to do it right here on camera so that you guys get to see. And y'all remember, when you're doing this, you want to stir it. You don't want to burn them trichomes and stuff to the bottom of your pot. You guys also want to remember to do this slowly. Don't be rushing it. You heat it up too much, it'll make it where it don't work. Something else you got to remember. You want to be in a well-ventilated place, especially those of you running gas appliances. You're cooking off flammable, very, very flammable liquid. You notice I'm on an electric hot plate. That has something to do with the fact that I've got gas appliances. I can't do this on my stove. If you got gas appliances, I do not recommend doing this on your stove. If your roof winds up 4 or 5 houses down, don't say Doc didn't warn you. Get yourself an electric hot plate. They're less than 20 bucks. And again, you want to do this very slow. You see the steam coming off of that. That is alcohol vapor. I'm telling you right now, that crap stinks. You can get drunk sitting here huffing it. Whew! I got windows open and everything, and it still stinks in here. So we're going to keep letting this go for a little bit. When we get to the right level, I'll be able to point out exactly what we're looking at. Looks like the sun's kind of not cooperating with me. Let's try to push that where I can get some better light. Alright, I'll have to move you over there a little bit. Sorry guys, the morning sun is coming up and doing its thing. For those of you guys who are turning this RSO mixture into gummies, whatever seasoning you plan on or flavoring you plan on using, I recommend having it open and ready to go, because this process goes very, very quick. We're going to be making some orange gummies today. You've seen I'm going to be doing orange, trying to match them and see if I can make it very citrusy. I like Loran's. You can get multi-pack flavors of them. There's all kind of different ones out there that you can use, so don't feel like that's the only one that's out there. You've got Loran's. You've got Cabela's. All you got to do is type in candy flavorings, extracts for making candy. But we're getting down here close to the end. You can still see the little tiny bubbles. You can still see them, but you will see here very, very shortly that they're going to stop being little tiny bubbles and they're going to start turning into a different type of bubble. And you'll be able to see it. Like I said, it's fairly easy to be able to look at. And once you've done it and see where you're supposed to be at, you'll know where you're supposed to be at. Now, this was a cup of tincture for anybody who might be asking. This is 1 cup. You're going to cook it down. It's going to start to look like molasses. And once you get down close, if this is your first time doing it, I recommend turning the heat down a little bit. Don't have your heat up super high, because if you don't know what you're doing, you can mess the whole thing up right here. So get that back on the heat. Give it just a second. And we should see them bubbles start to change here very, very soon. We're getting down to that last little bit of alcohol. You can see the bubbles getting fatter. Can you guys see that? The bubbles aren't as small anymore. They're starting to get more like I said, almost like a liquid syrup. See the bubbles? They're getting fat. They just changed. I've got no alcohol, or little to no alcohol left, I should say. You just saw them. Look at them big fat bubbles. Okay, now that we're at that level, if you guys were making RSO, turn your heat down, let it cool down a little bit, and get ready to draw it up. I'm going to be adding in my orange oil, and I'm doing that because I'm turning mine into gummies. So, guys, the docs taught you how to make your RSO. Use that for your edibles or whatnot. I got to get to stirring. I'm out.